Be'ezrat Hashem, na'aseh v'natzliach. I'd like to welcome everyone to the Lighthouse Project. Tonight's lesson is going to be a step-by-step guide to the 8 days of Chanukkah. It's going to be a little bit of a catch-up on some of the lessons we learned, but a lot of new stuff. This is a good, solid lesson if you want to be ready for the next holiday. This has become a regular over here. We prepare ourselves for the holidays. I want to tell you, if you prepare yourself for the holiday and you walk into it prepared, it's a different holiday. I can 100% tell you that about Rosh Hashanah. I can 100% tell you that about Yom Kippur as well as Sukkot. And part of it were these classes. So I'm hoping that we get the same effect out of the preparation, the spiritual preparation for Chanukkah. Before we get started, I'd like to give an honorable mention to our class sponsors, which are part of the Issachar and Zvulun sponsorship. We learn, they get the credit, or half of it at least. One of them is H&M Builders, doing this in memory of their grandfather in honor of the Dornbush family. Great, great kids. They've been sponsoring this class from the beginning. Be'ezrat Hashem, that this family has a lot of success in all their endeavors. Bracha v'atzlacha, that they should have a good news, besorot tovot, from their children, and Be'ezrat Hashem, that will dance soon in their simcha. We also have a lovely lady from the East Coast, Stacy Esther Bouton, who has also been a sponsor of this class for a very long time. She's doing this in honor of her sons, Yonatan, Eliyahu, and Shalom ben Esther. Great boys. I wish for that entire family to have a lot of bracha v'atzlacha, shlom bayit amiti, be'ezrat Hashem, that they have a lot of simcha and atzlacha b'chol ma'aseh yedehem. And this next sponsor happens to be one of my best friends from New York, Abi Sakal, Chazak u'Baruch. He's also sponsoring this class. He's doing this le'ilui nishmat. So the Colette Bat Hana, that she should have a spiritual elevation with these divrei Torah that we're going to learn. And lehavdil refuah shelema to Daniel Bat Mazal, David Ban Hana, Aaron Ben Elisheva, Sarah Bat Fegel Perla, and to the success of his children, Hodaya Bat Dina and Mered Bat Dina. Abi, Be'ezrat Hashem, they have a lot of hatzlacha, b'chol ma'aseh yadecha, in your new job, in your new home, with your new family, and Be'ezrat Hashem, all these divrei Torah be to the hatzlacha of the Sakal family. And this should also be for the refuah shlema of Menachem Mendel Ben Sarah Batya and Devorah Fega Bat Rezel. Unbelievable how people are getting involved with the Lighthouse. They're supporting Torah. They want to get involved. They want to have a portion of what's going on over here. There are times over here where we're packed. There are times over here where there's just a few. But above and beyond, with Facebook Live and what people watch the day after and the week after, before you know it, it turns into hundreds, sometimes even thousands of views on the same class. And this is the true example of Lagdil Torah V'Ladira. As well as on the YouTube channel over there, you see that they come and they view. And it's a great thing, because what we want to do is we want to spark another Jewish soul. Just one more Jew, just one more Jewish girl, just one more Jewish guy that hear one beautiful Dvar Torah that brings them a little bit closer to Hashem, and we did our job. And it seems like a lot of people want to be a part of that, and that's great. So on that token, I'd like to ask everyone to promote this class, like and share this class, and be a promoter for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Spread the word about the Torah, spread the word about the Chag, and every person that comes back, and any person that keeps another mitzvah, is to your merit. Chazak u'Baruch to all. Well, in the past few weeks, we've been preparing ourselves for Chanukkah. It's exactly about 1 week away. We've had a lot of background stories about, the war, the people involved, all the different concepts that go into this holiday. Today's lesson, I thought I'd do something a little bit different, which is we'll take all the pieces of the holiday and tie them into the story at the same time. Chanukkah, you have to start with the name. Chanukkah means Chanu bechafhei. Chanu, parked or stopped. Chafhei, on the 25th. In other words, on the 25th of Kislev, that was the day that the war was won over the Greek Assyrian army. It was also the day that the Bet HaMikdash got re-inaugurated. Chanukah also comes from the word Chanoch, because the Chaf, without a dagesh, can become a Chaf. Chanoch Hey. What's Chanoch? To inaugurate. So Chanukah, they stopped on the 25th. Chanoch Hey, they inaugurated. Hey is Hashem. They inaugurated the house of Hashem. In the name already, you can see that it's letting us know what's going on during that day. And all this happened during the month of Kislev. We spoke about the month of Kislev. Kislev also has two parts to it. Kis velev. Kis comes from the word chas, hidden, covered, dark. And lev was, we said, corresponds to the 36, Lamed and the Vav. Why? Because the Lamed and the Vav, Lamed is 30, Vav is 6, corresponds to the 36 candles. The 36 candles of Chanukkah, which create an immense amount of light. And that's what happens at the end of the month. The end of the month is a tremendous amount of light. So it starts off dark and it ends up with a lot of light. Plus, kis means pocket. So always good when you have the word kis in the month. It's a good segula for parnasa. And the way you connect to that is at the end of the month, you have the holiday of Chanukah, which over there, it's like we said, it's a spiritual pipeline that opens up, and later on we'll talk about the segulot, what's available on that day. Now, we spoke about the 36 lights of Chanukah. Let's start there. This is an immense amount of light, spiritual light that's available to us on that day. It's the light of Mashiach. The light of Mashiach. Ask me what that means. I don't know, but it's the light of Mashiach. In other words, this thing that we're constantly thinking about, Mashiach, 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 the light that's connected to it is available to us on these 8 days. The rabbis tell us that the source of Or HaGanuz, we said Or HaGanuz is that special treasured light that is saved for the tzaddikim, that is a hidden light. That light becomes available on 8 days. Imagine, 8 days of Chanukah, for 30 minutes, this light visits us. It visits us for 8 days straight, then it disappears again. And this Or HaGanuz, you should understand that if we go back to Bereshit, I'll explain it to you. On the first day, there was light, there was dark, let there be light, let day 1, day 2, Vayi Choshech, Vayi Or. The first day of existence, you should know, the light was all day, all 24 hours, and then it extended to an additional 12 hours. And only on the second day, when Hashem divided between the skies, then did that light disappear and go somewhere else. It's not the light that comes from the sun, because that came on Wednesday. This is a different type of light. And since that light was running for 36 hours, it's a special light. As a matter of fact, it's also the reason why we celebrate, according to the Ben Ish Chai, the reason why we celebrate Rosh Hashanah 2 days is because the day did go for 36 hours. It's as if it was an extended day. So this light that I'm speaking of, this is Or HaGanuz. That light comes back and visits us on Chanukah when? The first 30 minutes when we light the candles. Now,
wait, can I just ask you a question? Is if we light the candles an hour later, did we miss that 30-minute period?
You did.
So
you
it's
did.
got to be when the exact
Shkia. In other words, when when it's the first time that you can light, the first minute that you can light, find yourself in front of a Chanukiah, light it, and later on we'll give you instructions of what some good things to do at that time. After that, you can definitely light. You can then light the entire night up until dawn. But if you want to take part of that special light, be there for that first half hour. That's the magic time. Now, the word Chanukah, I just gave 2 examples of what it means. Here's a third one. Chanukkah, Chet, has the numerical value of 8. Right? So Chanukkah 8. Nerot v'halacha kebet Hillel. Chet is 8. Nerot, Nun. V'halacha is Vav. Kevet, Chaf. Hillel, Hey. In other words, if you take that word Chanukkah, it tells us that the 8 candles of Chanukkah go according to the opinion of Bet Hillel. Now we know there were 2 schools of thought in the time of the Gemara. Bet Hillel, Bet Shammai. Bet Shammai stringent, Bet Hillel a little bit more lenient. But when it came to the lighting of the candles, Bet Shammai said light 8 candles and go down to 1. And Bet Hillel says no, light 1 candle and go up to 8. And we follow the opinion of Bet Hillel. And it's hinted in the word Chanukkah. Chet nerot, Chanukkah, there's 8 candles. Vehalacha, and the halacha that we follow, kevet Hillel. That's hidden in there also. Now, by the way, this is, just so you know, something easy to remember, because sometimes people that are not holding and don't know and are doing this for the first time, or they forget from year to year, you should just know that you set up the Chanukiah from left to right, and you set up the Chanukiah from, how do we do this?
Right.
From right to left,
Right to left.
and light it from left to right. In other words, when the Chanukiah is in front of you, you start from your right, and you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And when you come to light, you light the 8th candle first, and you go down the line. Okay? Now, once the Chanukiah is lit, don't light it and walk away. Like, job done, next, we sang a song, turn on the TV, bring on the donuts, maybe spin a dreidel and move on to the iPhone. Don't do that. Make sure that you're there at the right time and take advantage of these first 30 minutes that we're talking about. And since it's going to be for 8 days, here are some tips of what you can do when the Chanukiah is lit. 1, study. Learn Torah. Sit in front of the candles and learn Torah. 2, pray. Think like you're in shul. Think in front of the echal. Stand right there and pray in front of the candles. 3, stare. Just look at the candles. It's been known that those candles restore vision. It's a mitzvah for the woman to light as well, by the way, since we're talking. Let's say the husband can't make it, he's stuck in traffic, he's running late. You don't want to miss out on that time frame or that window of time. So the woman has the mitzvah to light as well. Now we know that there's a rule. Mitzvah she'azman gerama, nashim peturot. If there's a mitzvah that is connected to time, women are automatically exempt. So this is connected to time, right? We have to light it at night, not during the day. It has to be on this day, not on another day, right? It's connected to time. So how come the women are obligated to light a Hanukkah candle? And the answer is because they were part of the miracle too. The miracle happened to them as well. It wasn't exclusive just to men. So they are required to light that candle. So if the husband finds that he's going to be running late, let the woman light. When he comes home, he can do his own set. His own Chanukiah, the same Chanukiah with different candles. There's a segula. If you want to have righteous children that are tzaddikim and tzaddikot, Torah Jews, Torah learning Jews, kids that love the Torah, light the menorah in front of them. Make sure that the kids are there. Make sure that they're next to you. As a matter of fact, it's not just for that, it's for the Shabbat candles as well. The Shabbat candles and the Hanukkah candles, when the kids see their parents lighting those candles, the rabbis tell us, Segula leiladim tzaddikim. So anybody who's concerned with that, or if they have grandchildren, let them have that mental image burned into their mind of Abba and Saba or the whole family lighting candles and giving the honor to the candle. You know, on the Shabbat candles, you know, you see how the mom stands in front of it, she blesses, all of a sudden it's all quiet, all of a sudden the mom makes the beracha, it leaves an impression on the daughter. On Chanukkah, we want to let them know that the light is special. And the rabbis tell us that there's some sort of very, very strong segula for the kids to be righteous. The Khatam Sofer says that the light of Hanukkah from the candles brings a person success in Torah learning, remembering, and understanding. This is good for the yeshiva boys. Sometimes you go to yeshiva, you go to a kollel, you sit down and you're learning, and the concept is so hard and so many different opinions, and you have to remember what was happening going on 20 pages ago, and which name of rabbi, which opinion he holds, to bring it back to this page. You know, that type of mental gymnastics sometimes needs help. The Rabbi Khatam Sofer says, look at the candles. When it comes to that, you'll get better. It has a segula for that as well. There's an angel that stands next to the Chanukiah during Chanukkah, and it's an angel that stands with him during the candle lighting, and after the candle lighting, that angel travels with him the entire year. A protective angel gets created during the lighting of Chanukkah and continues to be with that person the entire year as a protective angel. We learned it from the pasuk, Ki malacha vitzav elach leshomecha michol derachecha. It's a very famous pasuk. Ki malacha vitzav elach leshomecha michol derachecha. They said, Lecha bechol derachecha. You can tell that I'm huge on Gematriot and Sofet Tevot, Rashi Tevot, but there's a lot of secrets over there. So the Lamed, the Bet, and the Dalet, Lamed is 30, Bet is 2, Dalet is 4, altogether 36. Letting you know that any guy that lights the Chanukiah, 36 candles, he has a protective angel with him for the whole year from Hanukkah.
Amen.
Now, like we said, if you missed this magic window of time, these 30 minutes, you could do it all night. The most important thing is that you don't come after an hour like, oh, upset and angry, I missed the window, oh, light the candles, I don't even want to sit here. No. Sometimes lighting a candle besimcha can have the same effect. You know, some people are so into doing all the segulot and being there on time that sometimes when they come to the mitzvah, they lose the gusto. And they I didn't pray nets today. I'm praying at 8 o'clock. Oh, that's it. The day's shot. No. Pray with simcha. Be happy. Be happy. Lighting candles with happiness is better than being bitter and doing it at a certain time.
What the latest you can light the candle?
Until dawn. Up until the whole night, until Alot HaShachar. Alot HaShachar nowadays is about 5:30. So you could do it. But we said earlier that the best time is the first. As soon as there's Shkia, you do the first 30 minutes. Now, these 36 candles that we're talking about are candles to commemorate the Or HaGanuz. We spoke about this special light that illuminated during the 36 hours of creation, but it also corresponds to 36 tzaddikim. It also corresponds to the 36 Shisha Sidrei Mishnah that we have. There's a lot of deep meanings. I mean, I've seen maybe 4 or 5 different things that it's connected to. I'm just giving you a sampling of it. But it's not just a wax candle. It's not just some oil burning. There's some deep, deep mystical secrets going on in these candles. While you're there, keep in mind, it's a small window of time. You lit the candles. You said the bracha. You said Shehechiyanu only on the first night. After that, you move on to singing. Ma'os Tzur, Hanerot Halalu. All these things that are part of everything. If you just pick up the box of candles and read the bracha and the little excerpt over there, you're missing out on a lot. Because if you open up a Siddur and you just go through the 3-4 pages that are connected to Chanukah, you really get a lot out of it. As a matter of fact, there's an additional segula that you'll find in most good Siddurim, which has the it has the chapter of Tehillim of Yoshev Beseter Elyon, Betzel Shaddai, Lonan. It's one of the Yoshev Beseter Elyon of the Tehillim. And it's right there. And the rabbis tell us, if you say that 7 times after lighting the menorah, you have protection for an entire year. Anytime I hear something like that, I love it. You know why? It's an insurance policy. Costs me nothing. I got angels. This is not Geico. This is not Progressive. This is God's angels walking with me. I'll stand there and I'll read those perakim. I love those. I love those types of segulot because you're really just reading something holy. You're tapping into something on a very high spiritual level. And at the end of the day, you just have to imagine you're walking in that door one way. You're walking out that door the next day, and you got a couple of extra angels that all their job is to do, protect you. I'll take it. 7 times Yoshev Beseter Elyon. Keep in mind another few important facts while you're there in front of the not the menorah. Again, it's not a menorah; it's a Chanukkah. Menorah it's a candelabra with 7 in the middle. I'm sorry, of 7 kanim. Chanukkah is 8 with the shamash. It's 2 different things. We live in a society where most people think that we light the menorah. It's because we live in the Gola, we live in the diaspora. There's a lot of companies that need to cash in on the menorah and the consumerism that comes along with it. But the bottom line is, we don't light the menorah. They light the menorah in Beit HaMikdash. And on Chanukkah, we light the Chanukkah. So since you're in front of the Chanukkah, you should know that one of the halachot is you cannot enjoy the light of the candles. הנרות הללו קודש הם ואין לנו רשות להשתמש בהם אלא לראותם בלבד. These candles are holy and we don't have permission to use them, only to look at them. That's what that pasuk says. We say it in the Al Nisim. So you shouldn't turn off the lights, and the only candles in the room is the Chanukkah, and all of a sudden you just happen to peek through. And you see the glow of the Chanukkah, but at the same time you were able to see something that's on the floor, or the books that's behind it, or the table that it's on. So you use the light to view something. Sin. Or you're sitting in front of it and you happen to walk by the room. What does it say over here in your front? Sin. So there's certain people that in order not to fall on that, of course, the house where the lights are on and everything like that, it's a lot harder to sin like that. But at the same time, you never know. Let's say you're sitting in front of the Chanukkah and you're studying, and that light is illuminating a little bit on your book and it's making it a little bit brighter. Sin. So in order not to do that, what do? You take an extra candle, a little teacup candle, and you put it in front of the Chanukkah somewhere on the table. Why? So like that, if anything, you weren't using that light. I have this extra light over here to protect me that I'm not using the lights over there.
Could you use the shamash for that?
That's another reason why the shamash is there. Another reason why the shamash is there is so we don't use it, so we could say that we're using the shamash light. We have something to rely on. The point is, don't use it for anything. Let it burn, enjoy it, and keep the lights well lit in the house. And let the house be fully lit the entire time that the Chanukkah is lit, so you don't fall on this very particular thing. It says, "En lanu reshut lishtamesh b'hem ela lirotam bilvad," just to look at them. So let's perform that.
But in English, everybody say menorah. They don't say Chanukkah.
I know, it's a mistake.
Don't know
It's a mistake. Let's talk about the Chanukkah. The Chanukkah is the vessel. This is it's one of the tools that we use for this holiday. Each holiday has different accessories. Sukkot, we got the lulav, the etrog, the arba minim. Each holiday has a different Purim, our costumes. Hanukkah, it's basically Chanukkah with the oil, the candles, a dreidel, maybe some sufganiyot. We're limited on what we have over here. So there's a way to lehader. to make it more beautiful, to make it more an elevated mitzvah. So they say, how can you mehader in Chanukkah? In the Chanukiah. They say that the highest level that you can do, hidur, mitzvah, when it comes to Chanukiah, let it be gold. Next level, silver. Next level, metal. Next level, glass, and so on and so on and so on and so on until we see something, the things that our kids are doing from arts class.
That's worth the most.
They're beautiful. I have one from my son that we still light. A couple of bolts for the candles, and it's all covered in copper, some sort of copper covering, and it's beautiful. But lehader, the most beautiful is the different levels. The gold, like we said, goes so on.
The same height, because some of them they make it like this.
That's not kasher. That's not kasher.
Right.
That's decorative.
That's
decorative. Anybody who knows, they have to be in the same height. The shamash a little bit on a higher level or on a different side, but definitely not highs and lows. Now, the oil too that we use, or the candles. So you should know that the best that you can use is oil. What kind of oil? Olive oil. What kind of olive oil? Edible. If it's olive oil that you'll put in your salad, that's the best. I'll tell you something else. Anybody who was part of the spiritual preparation for Sukkot, we said, what are some things that you can hang up in the Sukkah? We said, hang up some rimonim, hang up some apples. They're good for your health. We said, hang up some bottles of oil. Why? Because those bottles of oil that stayed in the sukkah, saved them from when? Chanukkah. So if you got those 2 bottles of olive oil that you would use in a salad, but that were stayed already in the sukkah, mehudar of the mehudar. Now you take that and you start to fill up the cup, and you put the wicks. Some people use the regular wicks like we use on Shabbat when we light. Some people do even cotton. Everyone does the whatever level, but oil is the best. Hanukkah is unique. Any oil, any oil can be used. And then later on it's candles. And then there's different types of candles, and it goes all the way down. So, what's the deal with candles? They're a bit unpredictable. Even though the typical ones that we've always lit, I'm not sure that it lights for 30 minutes to 45 minutes. Especially not if they're under an AC vent. They burn through it in 5-10 minutes. Okay? Secondly, the whole nes, the whole miracle of Hanukkah was in shemen. So imagine how beautiful it would be if you buy a $99 little flask and you put oil into it. And then you take the Chanukiah with a small little cup that it has, and the children see you pouring from a small little cup, small little can of oil, just like in Bet HaMikdash. And you make the ceremony. A little bit of oil here, and a little bit of oil here, and a little bit of oil here, and the lights. It's unique, it's special. Kids eat it up. This is the time to ham it up for them. Now, when purchasing the oil, or when purchasing the candles, don't go into the supermarket and be like, okay, Hanukkah candles, throw it into the cart and go. Don't do that. Don't do it like you just shopped for something. Go in, say, what's the best? What's the best oil? And what's this one? And what's that one? And you know what? I'm going to try. Have kavanot that this is the oil that I'm going to light with. And this is going to be the one that's going to illuminate the Or HaGanuz. And I'm going to sit in front of it. And I'm going to pray. And I'm going to study. And I'm going to play dreidel with my kids in front of the Chanukiah. Give it kavanot. And the rabbis tell us, when you put the kavanah into the oil while you're purchasing it, you acquire Yirat Shamayim, the fear of God. And I want to tell you something. The fear of God is not something scary. The fear of God is something necessary and something beautiful, because it protects you from you. It protects you from doing the wrong thing to yourself, from hurting, from being self-destructive. Yirat Shamayim is something, by the way, that is very lacking in this day and age, in this generation. This generation that cares about nothing and could care less about nothing. Yirat Shamayim is absolutely necessary. Go to the supermarket, get yourself some Yirat Shamayim. Get it. It's so easy. There's a segula, snatch it up. Do a little, read the boxes for more than a minute. Make a decision. Say that you having the kavanah that this should be the best type of oil that I'm using for it. By the way, the difference between the cheap oil and the best oil, $2, $4, $5. This is such an easy mitzvah le'ader. Such an easy mitzvah to become, to make it the best that it could be. On Shabbat, in Shul we say, B'ma madlikin, b'ma lo madlikin. There's a whole Mishnah that we read over there, and it says, on Shabbat, you can't light with this type of shemen shumshimin, shemen egozin, there are all these different oils, not allowed. Why? This one has a smell. This one makes smoke. You can't. On Shabbat, it has to be a specific type of oil that behaves a certain way. That it doesn't flicker too much, that it doesn't go back. So many restrictions.
So olive oil only?
No, I'm saying...
No,
on Shabbat, good olive oil is good. Yeah, you're not, like for example, you can't light with kerosene, or you can't light with some sort of oil that's made from nuts or from beet. They have all the restrictions. We can go through it later. But it says on Chanukkah, any oil. Any oil you can light in Chanukkah. Okay. What's the secret over here? Why on Chanukkah any oil and on Shabbat only specific oils? So they say that Ner Adonai Nishmat Adam Chofes Kol Chadrei Vaten. He says the Ner, the candle, that's the human being. In other words, every time I'm going to say candle now, imagine human being. So any type of ner, any type of oil, we can light on Chanukkah. That means any type of human being can be sparked on Chanukkah. If he's on a very high level, super good olive oil, bring. If he's on a super low level, stinky, the worst type of oil, it's okay. Any type of oil, any type of human being can get lit on Chanukkah. This Chanukkah, this holiday, has the power to elevate the lowliest souls. And in a minute I'm going to explain to you why it's possible. Hashem made this holiday out of big rachamim for Am Yisrael. See, Hashem wants to elevate all the lowly souls that weren't able to achieve the job that was necessary during when? Chodesh Elul, Aseret Yemei Teshuvah, Rosh Hashanah, Kippur, Sukkot, Hoshana Rabbah. The tickets have been dispatched. 3 months have passed, and we got a group of guys that just never caught the train. They didn't jump in on any stop. They're still in their wicked, evil ways. What's their last stop? Last stop before they said completely gone? Chanukkah. And Hashem on Chanukkah says, I'm here to pick you guys up. Tap in, I'll pick you guys up. We learned that from the height of the Chanukiah. The height of the Chanukiah, in other words, you can actually light the Chanukiah from this height, 3 tefachim. You can have a table super low of 3 tefachim, up to 10 tefachim. What's 10 tefachim? Up this high. And that is the acceptable acceptable height of putting a Chanukiah.
The base of
off the ground. 3 tefachim off the ground, up to 10. Now, and by the way, this is an amma. 20 of these, 20 amot, if you put the Chanukiah 20 amot high, pasul, doesn't count like you lit the Chanukiah. So just say, you want to put it, let's say you want to light a Chanukiah right there at the top of that ceiling, doesn't count.
What if you're in a condo?
Condo, you're only obligated to do it at your door, by your door. And I'll get to that a little bit later on in the lesson. because it's not natural way for people to walk in the street and look at the 37th floor. Oh, there's a Chanukiah over there. It's not normal. It's not the way, the natural way of people walking. So nobody's looking to see if your Chanukiah is on the 22nd floor. So there's no inyan in those floors. However, when you walk through the door, you do have some sort of obligation and responsibility. Later on in the lesson, we'll touch on it.
Next to the door, not in the window?
Also in the window.
The door, nobody's in the door. It's closed and it's the hallway.
I'm talking, most people have a window next to the door in homes. Sometimes in an apartment, different. You can do it also by the kitchen. You can do it also by the dining table. There's many different places. We'll get to it. The height of the Chanukiah, like we said, can be 3 tefachim to 10 tefachim. Something that you should know. Hashem's Shekhinah, holy presence, never goes lower than 10 tefachim. In other words, Hashem's Shekhinah will lower itself up until, let's say, about this height, and will never go lower. Because lower is already it's a lower level. It's like the ground. Except for one time. One time in the year, Hashem's Shekhinah goes all the way down to between 3 and 10 tefachim. When? Chanukkah. Why? In order to pick up those special lowly souls that we were talking about. You see, there's low-level neshamot that, like I said, they didn't do teshuvah, they don't keep Shabbat, they don't eat kosher, they're acting like goyim. Every single day they wake up to 1,000 avirot, and the next day they do it again. It's tough. And by the way, there's a lot of them. But Hashem loves them. They're His kids. He doesn't want to, you're a bad kid, you're in timeout forever. That's not Hashem. Hashem loves all His children and He waits for them to do teshuvah. But He's letting us know here, I'm bringing myself down lower than usual for what? For those lowly souls, in order for them to come back to Hashem. Now, there's a pasuk that says, Tashov enosh ad daka. Let the soul come back ad daka. Daka is the name of a place. But again, if you do the gematriot, Dalet, Chaf, and Aleph. Dalet is 4, Chaf is 20, Aleph is 1, altogether is 25. Tashev Enosh, let the soul, let the person come back, Ad 25. What's 25? The 25th of Kislev, until Chanukkah. So the rabbis tell us, Ad Daka, it's Dalet, Chaf, Aleph. Dalet, Shfichut Damim. Any person who does Shfichut Damim, a murderer, or somebody, like anything that has to do with there's 3 major sins that Hashem does not forgive, which is Shfichut Damim. Chaf is Kochavim, Avodah Zarah, worshipping idol worship, and Aleph is Isha, Eshet Ish, or Arayot. Hashem cannot stand people that are promiscuous. So Tashev Enosh Adaka, all those people that deal with these 3 things, that typically no Shabbat and no Teshuvah can help these guys. These guys, that's it, they went off the deep end. What did they tell us over here? On Chanukkah, they have a way back. On Chanukkah, Hashem is here to pick them up. That's what we learned from the height of the Chanukiah. Now, just want you to know, since we spoke about Rosh Hashanah, Kippur, Sukkot, I want you to know that we are still benefiting from last year's blessings. This year, that we just started a few months ago, the blessings for this year, you know when they start? In Chanukkah. In other words, we're still coasting on last year's mazal, bracha, hatzlacha. Everything is still coasting from last year. They say, when you're going to see the fruits of your prayers of Rosh Hashanah, of Yom Kippur, of the holiday, when you're going to see, they say like a pregnant lady. A pregnant lady starts to show after 3 months. Same thing, our prayers, we get to see the fruits of our prayers after 3 months. What's 3 months after Rosh Hashanah and Kippur? Chanukkah. So the new blessings of the new year are coming up. So think about it, in a few weeks, Be'emet, here it comes. If there's a bracha that's coming this year, it's coming. If there's whatever it's coming. It's like exciting, it's coming. Whatever, everything was connected up until last year. So now all the brachot that are coming in, brand new. Now we're going to see the results of our prayers. Chanukkah has the power to elevate. Just like we said, you can light with any oil, which means you can elevate any neshama. Any neshama can get lit up. Any neshama. Any person that right now is completely off the derech and says, you know what? I'm getting plugged in right now. What a time to get plugged in. Hashem says that's the right time for you. I pray to God that a lot of people that are off the derech are listening to this class. Ironically, we're talking about having the Chanukkah, lehader, to make the mitzvah better. A better Chanukkah, a better oil. You know what's funny? This is the only holiday that every Jew is mehader. Every Jew. How's that possible? The mitzvah of Chanukkah is to light one candle each night. That's the mitzvah. One candle each night. What do? Each night, we add another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. We're mehader. The mitzvah really is just one. So whether you like it or not, any Jew, when he lights the Chanukkah on the fourth day, mehader, look at you. Whether he's religious, secular, keeps, doesn't keep, on Chanukkah, mehader. Almost everyone. It's a rare mitzvah, if you know, almost every Jew does. Doesn't matter, even like the most non-religious Jew, he lit a Chanukkah. For some reason, it's like one of those easy things. They go, they stand in front of it, they light a couple of candles, they sing, they move on with life. It's like not like one of those wake up at 5:30 in the morning and pray nets mitzvot, So almost every Jew, in our previous class, you say, what is that? What is it that makes every Jew feel that they have to light the Chanukkah? Why is it so embedded in the DNA of a Jew? Because we said there was a mesirut nefesh. There was self-sacrifice that was done by the family of the Hashmonaim. And anytime that the Jewish person has self-sacrifice on something, that gets sort of like embedded into the Jewish identity. And whether you like it or not, as a Jew, you're born with it. For example, Avraham Avinu, he had mesirut nefesh all the way. Anything that Hashem told him, he did. One of the things that he did mesirut nefesh on at a very old age was Brit Milah. Brit Milah. Nowadays, I ask you, how many Jews do you know? Religious, not religious, whether they keep or they don't keep, whether they live in Cambodia or whether they live here in Aventura. When their boy turns 8, what did they do? 8 days old, what did they do? Show me one Jew that doesn't get his boy snipped for Brit Milah. Show me. Why? It's embedded. It's in us. Why? Because Avraham Avinu had mesirut nefesh. So, is the lighting of the Chanukkah. The Hashmonaim had mesirut nefesh. They had self-sacrifice in order to keep the Jewish faith, to keep the Jew alive. Because of that, you see that even the guy that hundreds of tattoos, that doesn't keep nothing, you see him put on a little, one of these pointy kippas and lights up the Chanukkah. Why? It's in his DNA. He feels it. He feels like he needs to do it. Since we're still on the subject of Chanukkah, there's that whole concept of Pirsumei de Nisa. Very rare thing that we publicize a mitzvah, that we publicize our religion. We are so low-key, we're so undercover, we're so not into, promoting Judaism. We're to ourselves. We're the type of people, you don't see us, there's no missionaries out there, come be a Jew. Somebody wants to be a Jew, here, take 5 years, see this Orthodox rabbi. It's super hard for them to do it. We're not the type of people that promote or publicize our holidays. As a matter of fact, the rabbis tell us a person should never publicize his mitzvot. His mitzvot should be private. Don't tell somebody you're fasting. Don't tell somebody how much tzedakah you gave. Don't tell somebody how much studying you do. Why? It's niyut. The bracha is when you're tzanua. However, when it comes to Chanukkah, what the rabbis tell us, Pirsumei Nisa. Let everybody know. Let everybody know. So, the Pirsumei Nisa, there's a mitzvah over here. What's the mitzvah? Take the Chanukkah, put it in the window. Put it in a place when people are walking by, or back in the days they say that people are walking back from the market back home, and they see in your window the Chanukkah lit. So there's an inyan for that. So if you have a chance to pick up this mitzvah along the way, do it in a place where it's visible. So if you're living on a ground level, you go to the front of the house, you roll up the shades, you set up a nice little table over there, you put the Chanukkah, you light it, and you leave it there for an hour. Should anybody drive by or walk by, they say, okay, beautiful. The Jews had some sort of miracle thousands of years ago, they're celebrating it. Pirsumei Nisa. Now, for people that don't have, like the lady was just saying, that are not living on a ground level, are living in a building where there's no inyan to put it on the 20th floor, what do those people do? They are mekayem the mitzvah of tzameach. What's tzameach? Or tzemach. What's tzemach? They say that when a person walks through the door, he should have on him his tzitzit, his mezuzah, and on the left side should be his Chanukkah. What does that activate? So the guy is walking through the door wearing his tzitzit. On the right side he has the mezuzah, and on the left side by the door he has his Chanukkah. Tzitzit, tzadik. Mezuzah, mem. Chanukkah, chet, spells out the word tzemach. And it corresponds to the blessing that we have in the Siddur. Et tzemach David avdecha meherat tatzmiach. Bring forth or sprout the seed of the Mashiach, of the David. A person that walks through his door with a tzitzit and has a mezuzah and has a Chanukkah brings the Mashiach closer. It's as if he did like this, the Mashiach rope. Every time he walks through the door, the Mashiach rope closer. This whole action brings Mashiach closer. So anybody who lives in the building, that's the right way to light it up. And at the end of the day, you're doing Pirsumei Nisa for your family. We don't fast on these days. We don't do Ta'anit. These are days of Hodaya. Find yourself constantly praising Hashem. We're saying Hallel. Hallel is like a song of praise to God. Full Hallel. It's a rare. Not many times of the year that we say the whole Hallel. And we say it for 8 days. What does that tell you? If you're for 8 days praising Hashem in your prayer, that means when you walk out of shul, praise Hashem all day. Be in a state of gratefulness. Hashem, thank you for my wife. Thank you for my children. Thank you for my house. Thank you for the full tank of gas I have in my car today. Thank you that I can pay my bills. Thank you for my good friend. Thank you that I own the Siddur. Constantly be in a state of gratefulness. That's the energy of this time. Hodaya. Now, before we continue it's so amazing. We haven't left the Chanukkah. This whole time we're still just talking about the Chanukkah. This whole feeling is something that you should project to your kids. You should be a real unique version of yourself in Chanukkah. Let them see you light up in Chanukkah. As a matter of fact, Chanukkah and kids is a very unique time. Kids wait for it.
I can't imagine why.
Well, They love the fact that they get their Hanukkah gelt. Of course, the older they are, the more they like that. They love the fact that we can play with them the dreidel and that they eat the sufganiyot. And Hanukkah gelt is our custom. I even remember my parents and my grandparents, comes Hanukkah, there's a $10 bill or a $20 bill, but that was it, one time. Maybe like when they saw us. Our parents would give it to us on the first night, or sometimes they'd split it up, a little bit here, a little bit there. But recently, there's a new custom. 8 days of gifts. That's not a Jewish custom. It's a pagan custom copied by Jews. Meaning, the Goyim have their holiday. They like to give people, on the first day of Xmas, my true love gave to me, what did he give her? A gift. And on the second day, and the third day, and the fourth day, and the fifth day. So we are surrounded by the mentality that they get gifts every day. So as a Jew, you look at your neighbor and you're like, how come he gets to do it? We also have an 8-day holiday. So we've adopted out of nowhere this thing of like giving kids a gift for 8 days straight. Now, the wives totally know how to whitewash that it's not a pagan custom. One day will be from your parents, the next day will be from my parents, then on the third day it will be from the uncles. So it's not the same. It's not that. We're not doing it like them. It's just we have a lot of gifts and we have to spread it out. Let me tell you something. It's very difficult because it's very common and the kids want to, do a part of it. But the truth is, our custom is some geld. You give them some chocolate coins, sevivon, sometimes it's like a little bit of money from everybody, but that's it. But this whole custom of gathering around the menorah and opening up gifts every night, I don't know, I asked around, it's not very well accepted. Try to shy away from that. I don't know, try to dance around it. Now, since we're talking about kids, play dreidel with the kids. Last week's class, we spoke about the dreidel in a very deep meaning, the 4 galuyot, the 4 exiles, the 4 different, the Bavel, Romi, Edom, Midian or Mitzrayim. So we said that each one represented a galut. But tonight I'd like to tell you that there's another reason for the dreidel. The dreidel actually was also part of the kids' life. Part of this holiday because of the kids. Because believe it or not, there were still some righteous boys, young boys that wanted to learn Torah. And where would they learn Torah? They couldn't learn Torah inside shtibels or yeshivas. They'd have to be in the street. So what they would do is they would study in the street. But as soon as some of the Greek Assyrians would pass by, what would they take out? They would take out a dreidel and just spin it. It's the game that they used to play to make believe that they're playing a game until they left and they would put the dreidel away and start studying again. I thought that was great. The Nes Gadol Haya Sham, we spoke about it last lesson, that also Gematria, the numerical value of 358, which is equivalent to Mashiach. And we spoke about that this Hanukkah is very much connected to the next miracle, which is the Geulah. This whole example of Hanukkah, of a small little family fighting a huge army and winning, and Hashem saving us, is just like a blueprint to let you know in the time of Mashiach, it's going to be the same thing. No, you're going to be few, they're going to be many, we're going to win, Hashem's got our back. It's just like a little a preview. And like we said, the Geulah that's coming up is nowhere close to the Geulah that we were in. It's going to dwarf it in the miracles that will be available. There's another custom which is to eat dairy on this holiday. Where does this custom come from? Well, Yochanan HaKohen HaGadol had a daughter. We spoke about the Maccabees, his children, right? Those are the boys. He had one girl. Her name was Yehudit, Judith. And she was very special. At the time where the city was under siege, and they were stopping any food from coming into the city, and the people were starting to get desperate, and they were about to give up. She came up with a master plan. She says, you guys are saying, oh, give us 5 more days and Hashem will save us, and if not, then we'll go back and we'll give ourselves up, or the amount of kosher food coming in is not available anymore. Things were getting desperate. She says, leave it to me. Her and her maidservant made it all the way to the gates of the city, and she came with a basket of cheese and wine. By the way, the wine back in those days was not diluted. It was very strong wine. You drink a little bit and you're done. Not like they say you would have to take maybe an ounce of that and water it down in order to have the wine we have today. It's very strong. She went to the general and she told him, I'm going to put the Jews in your hands. I'm going to play a double agent. I'll tell you exactly where they're at, where they're holding, if they're ready to give up, when they're going to give up, where the fight will be. And he's like, wow. And he's like, you're going to do that for me? You know what? If you do that for me, I'll marry you. And he says, oh, okay, if you're going to marry. And he goes, you know what? As long as you'll allow me to walk freely within your camp, I'll be able to do this for you. So she was able to get a lot of information, play as a double agent. And at the same time, she told him, I brought you, I'm known for having the best goat cheese in the city, in my town. And he tasted it, he's like, oh, delicious. And he would wash it down with the wine. And he ate some more and he washed it down with the wine. Eventually he was knocked out on the floor. She picked up this huge heavy metal sword that belonged to him, beheaded him, took his head, put it in a basket, and brought it back to the Jewish quarters. And when his army went to get him and saw him there without a head, they all ran away and disappeared. And Yehudit, this brave woman in our Jewish history, because she used her cheese and wine, we have a custom to eat cheese in Chanukkah. Last week's class we had a great secret about Sufgania. I'm not going to repeat it this time, but I'll just say Sufgania. Adam will tell you, he knows it very well. I'll say one last thing before I conclude. Whatever we say, Bayamim Ahem, Bazman Hazeh. When we bless Ala Nisim Sha'ir Avotenu on the miracles that happened to our forefathers. Bayamim Ahem, on those days, Bazman Hazeh, in this time. Something doesn't make sense. Are the miracles, did they happen then, or is it happening now? Make up your mind, can be both, right? So the rabbis tell us that no. Those miracles happened then, Bayamim Ahem, but they're constantly available to us, Bazman Hazeh. We are constantly talking in this class about that spiritual cycle that constantly comes through. It's the year is 365 days. It's not a line, it's a spiral. You have to imagine each year is just a 365 days going around, and each time that a certain day comes around, we plug into it and it has the same energy that they had throughout history. Like we said, a quick little example, just like HaKadosh Baruch Hu forgave Am Yisrael and Moshe Rabbeinu for the 3rd time when on the 10th of Tishrei, which is Yom Kippur, what do we do on the 10th of Tishrei every year? Yom Kippur, we go and we ask for forgiveness. Why? That's the day Hashem forgave us. Every year we want to plug into that energy. So now, last lesson we mentioned it also, they did not celebrate Chanukkah the first year. They waited a full year to see if this magic, this power of the Ora Ganuz, of the miracles is available. And when they saw that it did come around the next year, they declared it a holiday. So that means that energy of Chanukkah is available to us every single year. What is this energy that I'm talking about? Well, This is a holiday that wraps up the holiday season. It's the final stop after Yom Kippur, like we mentioned. It has the power to atone for a level of Jew that typically has no outs. A Jew that has so many terrible sins and hasn't gotten plugged into any of the times of Teshuvah. These are the lowliest level souls of Am Yisrael. And this holiday has the power to atone for their sins. It elevates the lowliest souls. This is a time or a holiday of unique spiritual light that has been hidden and available since the beginning of time and is available just for 1 week. Or Haganuz, books and books of Kabbalistic books talk about this particular light. It's coming around in a week. It's going to visit us for 30 minutes. Don't miss out. The lighting of the Chanukkah is a sacred moment for the family. It's a sacred traditional moment. The smart ones will not squander this opportunity. The smart ones that light the Chanukkah and hang around it for a half hour to 45 minutes, they'll become wiser. They'll attain a guardian angel. They'll restore their vision. They'll acquire a years-long protection. And they'll also be able to have a prayer deposited to the heavens. They'll also merit to have righteous children. And they'll merit to get a spiritual elevation like no other. The deep-fried foods and cheesy delights that symbolize our strength, our courage, and our miracles. We spoke about the sufganiyah. And the reason why we eat a deep-fried dough is so like that we can remember the oil and the miracle of the oil, but also what's the beracha you make after deep-fried food, deep-fried dough, is mezonot. What do we say on mezonot? Ala michya va'al kalkala, right? And then it says, va'al hechalach va'al mikdashach. This is one of the few berachot that we mentioned Bet HaMikdash. So we eat that, so like that our beracha achrona will mention Bet HaMikdash. These are all reminders of the spiritual energy that's available to us during these days. These are the days where the unholy become pure. When the weak become strong. This is the days of miracles. These are the days of revealed miracles. And these are miracles that are available to us. Bayamim ahem ubazman hazeh. They had miracles then, and they're available to us today.
It's like Pesach when we say Ayu Yamim, but we have to see it's like it's
Yetziat Mitzrayim as if we went out today. Chazak. This spiritual elevator that's available to us during this holiday has the power to take the lowliest souls and change a Rasha to a Tzaddik with a spark of a candle. What a shortcut. Of course, it has to follow with Teshuvah and going the right way, but I'm saying, great start. Great start. Hashem came to pick you up from that low point. It's different. Fast forward to 3 weeks from now, it's a different energy. On Tuesday, we're going to light a candle. Go to 3 weeks from now, Tuesday, light any candle you want, do any prayers that you want. It's not going to be the same. It's not going to be the same. Hashem lowers his level of Shekhinah to pick up that Jew. And the celebration of yesteryear's miracles is just a hint and a catapult to the next miracle. The miracle of the Geulah, the miracle of Mashiach, the miracle that will dwarf all miracles before it. We won't even talk about Yetziat Mitzrayim. Whatever happened then can happen now. Bayamim ahem ubazman hazeh. We should all know we should all believe and we should all trust that the major miracles of Chanukkah are the major miracles that are available to us today on a personal level, on a whole level as an Am, and globally as a nation. Chag Sameach. Have a great rest of the week. V'Hashem Varech Otchem V'Sameach Otchem. Kol Tov. Thank you for coming.